Okay, my name is Alice Jaspart. I come from Université Libre de Bruxelles. So you hear my English is very, very poor. I'm really sorry. I would like to apologize for that. And you see also my PowerPoint is very poor. There is no PowerPoint, so I would like to apologize. Sorry. We will now change a little bit of subject with regard of the two first interventions, but not so much, I think, because we will keep on talking about detentions and on children, but we will focus on the detention of young offenders. So this paper is connected by, connected to my PhD in criminology at the Université Libre de Bruxelles on the detention of delinquent minors in the French-speaking part of Belgium. So it was realized during approximately 4 years, between 2005 and 2010, and now I continue a postdoctoral research on the same subject. So for this presentation, I will explain a brief summary of the initial questioning of the research and the methodology. And then I shall present also in a very summarized way the main results. So I'm going to speak about the two phases of the youth detention and the institutional mission of evaluation, which meets, according to me, between these two phases of the detention. So, in Belgium, like in several other European countries, detention was in the mid-19th century the first form of specialized treatment for juvenile offenders. Today it remains the central response proposed in the media and at the political scene when we're discussing about how to deal with the juvenile delinquents in Belgium. Since the late 70s, an often heard allegation is that there would be a lack of places in the detention centers for delinquent minors. But increasing institutional capacity and increasing the prison aspect of the new institution are the common answer given by the government. On the scientific level, there is few existing empirical knowledge on how concretely this institution functions. So this institution that combines in our welfare, youth, justice system, a mission of assuring safety, security, and an educational mission. Even less present that are the writings that go beyond the discourse, beyond the words of the staff and the youngster, in order to understand in situ the modes of socialization of the staff and the youngster, as well as the relationships between the actors involved. The initial questioning that granted my PhD in criminology was to understand the functioning of the three institutions for detention of delinquent boys in the French community of Belgium. So it was based on an ethnographic approach, and my research conducted at the heart of the detention of the minors. And that to open the black box of that represent the daily work of professionals in this type of total structure, to unravel also the social interrelation that can be created in this kind of structure, and also to understand the day-to-day life in detention for the youngsters. I had during my long and sometimes difficult immersion to balance constantly in order to find the right place for a researcher in this field, equidistant between two groups originally perceived as antagonistic. So now I will try to summarize my main results. According to my observation, the youth delinquent detention is a period during which the relation between the minors and the professionals are deployed in the dichotomous way. The detention centers are built around several components. For example, the space, the time, the executive framework, and the forced help, the type of socialization of the actor also. In the articulation of these elements, the imprisonment is a stage where two groups are confronted, the young people and the workers. Between these two groups, relation in mirror, in face-to-face, can be developed, relation in which the mutual incomprehension can grow. So it is, for me, the first phase of detention, as I called it. In this first phase, the space plays a particular role. From the entrance to the collective units of life, the space is structured by a principle of security and a principle of collective life. So the architecture and the way of using the space underpin the division of the everyday life. On one side, the young people, on the other side, the adults. The time also plays a part. In the day-to-day life, there is a particular management of time. It's a time cut into small rhythmical bits that become manageable, and these time slots are repeated. The young people are obliged to participate in the planned activities, and in the days that all alike, the others are the guards of this repeated structuring of time. But there is also a strange atmosphere, a mixture of rhythm and dullness. Everyone also forgets the time which passes by, and it's necessary to wake up when the end of the detention approaches. In the day-to-day life, there are also many moments of break. In this moment, the young people return to their rooms, because in these institutions we say rooms and not cells. Also, we say young people or pupils and not prisoners or detainees. So when the pupils are in their room, the others meet in office, in the kitchen or in the smoking room. And the others meet around subject of discussion, a subject of malaise also. The history and the story of the institution and the team, some colleagues, the women and the presence of the female workers, and also the young people. At the other side, in their rooms, the young people also manage to communicate in spite of the wars. They also have their subject of discussion, where they come from, the other institution where they have been, the delinquent fact they committed, their girls, and the adults who take care of them at the moment. In this moment, the young people, as well as the adults, also love. The laughter and the humor are important data that cross places, situations, and actors of the detention. The young people and the others don't love with the same things. The workers love, for example, of common memories, of some colleagues, of the directors. The young people love of their delinquency, the policeman, the judge, the girl, of their sexual experiments also. Humor has a social function. It allows to get closer, to create one we, and so to distance it some others. In this social function, the fact of loving of the others plays also. And the young people love of some adults, and the adults love of some young people. It is the mutual observation which feeds the funny register on both sides. Indeed, the adults and the young people observe each other mutually during the day. For the workers, to observe the young people is a mission to maintain the security. It is also a mission to evaluate the young people day after day and make reports for the judges of the youngster. In order to transcribe this observation, there are a lot of various mathematical and literary tools, and these tools help them to communicate with the magistrates and to write the reports for them. At their side, the young people also learn to observe the adults, to spend time, to learn threats of the detention also. In this learning, they can understand that they are observed all the time. They also understand that what they say, what they make, and sometimes even of what they could think can be written in the report to be sent to the judge. So, to help the young people, the social worker asked them to open up, to speak to them, to confide in the adults. But when they understand that the adults can repeat everything what they say to their judges, young people feel betrayed, feel distrusted. Some decided not to speak anymore, or the bare minimum. But then, at the other side, the adults don't understand and also distrust these young people who aren't honest. The mutual observation still complicates the relationships that are already marked by the spatial space and the structuring of time. The situation seems to increase the distance, to increase the misunderstanding and the distrust between the young people and the workers. All this participate, follow me, to the first phase of the youth detention. But the detention of the young people also has a second phase. This second phase is less visible because it happens in the margin of the formal and collective care, in moments stolen from the daily routine. It's nevertheless the second phase that makes the most sense for the young people and for some workers, because there is a possibility of silence. Everything doesn't have to be repeated in detention. A possibility of trust is created. This second phase takes place rather, for example, in the classes or in the workshop when the professors are alone with only some young people, or when washing the dishes in an individual meeting in a room or during an excursion. This is small bubbles. The time in these small bubbles, the time management and routine can be put aside, and the young person and the adult find common subject of discussion and humor. They feel that what they say to each other at this moment will not be repeated to the other. So this other can be the other young people, other workers, or the judges. So the silence is also something that can be shared in detention. When I analyze the two phases of the youth detention, it seems there are two different connections in the trust that reveal themselves at these two stages. According to me, this connection question in particular the mission of evaluation and reporting to the judges, because this mission is shown to worsen the other important mission, the educational mission, that needs a relation of relative trust. The previous research on the detention of the young people in Belgium pointed the difficult combination between the security mission and the educational mission of this institution. At the end of my research, it seemed more complex. According to me, it's rather the combination between the security mission, the educational mission, but also the evaluation mission. This combination should be questioned more at the scientific level, but also at the level of institutions, social workers, who are often consensus of its problematic aspects.